What's the weirdest thing that you and your partner do together? My wife likes to pants me, pull down my pants from behind, when I'm doing things where both hands are occupied, like cooking or carrying things. I put up with it because she get really great belly laughs every time she is successful, and I love it when she laughs like that. If my wife and I are holding hands and we somehow end up in a handshake position, we shake vigorously and say hyperbolic business jargon like good business deal, business partner, or production is hitting our KPLs this quarter. Done it for years and we do actually own a business together now, but we still do this. Sometimes, we take the t-shirt we're wearing and trap the other person's head under it, holding them to our stomachs and telling them that they are now safe. Basically, I chase her around the house, furniture, etc. There have been both broken possessions and injuries. The worst was several years ago when I broke my toe trying to run past the fridge and kicked it at full speed. We still do it, though. Enter the thread thinking I'm too weird to date. Leave the thread thinking I'm too normal to date. I'm AO. Secretly put pegs on each other's clothes as we go about our day and wait to see how long it takes for one another to notice. We have a code word to determine if the other person is a shapeshifter. Randomly we will ask each to repeat it. Always causes a giggle or even a concerned oh god. The fucking goofing voices in public. It's made worse by the fact I'm 60 and she's 50. Grocery aisle or any other store and one of us sees something cool. Boom. Fake ass, exaggerated semi-aristocratic whatever the fuck accent we can contrive and, 0 so vera fansa. Then the other chimes in, so vera fansa? What does it do? And off we go. Insufferable, really. When my wife has a hard time coming up with a word, I suggest the word penis. She says be careful, someday you're going to say that in the wrong company. I used to mess up the name of the month on our dry erase calendar and now it has turned into us constantly doing it wrong on purpose to see who notices. Right now it is apparently September. Before we had a kid, we used to strip to avoid running out for anything. It started with you run out, I don't have any shoes on. Then one day I mentioned we were out of milk, and neither of us had shoes on. My husband immediately dropped his pants around his ankles and declared I don't have pants on either. After that, every time one of us would say oh, we're all out of blank, we would exchange a quick glance and immediately start stripping to see who could be the farthest from ready to leave the house. Good times. We have a little paper cut out of Bobby Hill that we hide in random locations for the other to find, days or weeks later. It's currently in a stack of toilet paper at her place waiting to be found again. My boyfriend and I believe in an alternate reality where we exist as beans, so whenever we're having an awkward moment one of us will mention what our bean versions are probably doing. We squeeze each other's forearms to try to get the fingers to contract to pick stuff up. My partner uses my arm as it's a human claw crane machine. Anytime one of us bends over for any reason, tying a shoe, petting the cat, etc., the other goes, oh yeah that's right. 2. He's a late riser and a metalhead, so on the weekends I stand by the bed and chant awaken, awaken, take the land that must be taken, rise. Whenever either of us take off our ring for any reason, shower, washing dishes, gardening, etc., the other will grab it and put it back on them while proposing. We have probably proposed to each other several thousand times by now. My wife and I have an unspoken thing we've done to each other for 10+ years where we sneak up behind each other, grab the other's butt, and if the grabby's butt tenses up the grabber will whisper fear. If the grabby goes without tensing up, then it's usually oh, no fear for you. I have no idea where it came from or how it started, but it's a joke that's endured almost as long as our marriage, and made for some funny moments over the years. I was living above a children's daycare before I moved in with her. I would pretend to miss the crying and screaming every day when they got to play outside. She then promised to fix that for me, and at the same time some kid outside started jammering. So now every time a kid cries in our vicinity I lean in and say thanks dear, it's a bit of schadenfreude as we probably won't have any of our own, and both okay with that. We'll cape each other. I'll be doing the dishes for example and my fiancé will come up and hug me from behind all cute like. Then if I have to walk she'll shuffle her feet really quickly to match me, and I'll have to move around cleaning the kitchen with this quick-stepping weirdo on me like a cape. One day about 25 years ago I left a silly and random message on our answering machine for my wife. I used to put a lot of things for sale in the buy and sell ad paper. It went like this: TM calling about the froggy that I've touched. I touched the frog. Don't tell anyone. To this day if anyone mentions a frog, we look at each other and say quietly, the froggy that I've touched. It's so stupid. But makes us laugh. Where to begin? If we are close enough when the other person starts yawning, we try to get as much of our hand in their mouth as possible. When we can't find each other in the store we bloop and the other person replies with a long bloop until we locate each other. When people are around they're pretty quiet, which maybe makes it more awkward/creepy for the passerby. We make up lore for our cat. One of us will say something stupid and random like he's a stone cold businessman and the other will build on it, and we'll just keep escalating until one of us dies of laughter. And now that same cat is a chicken sauce businessman, a celebrated figure in Japan, and a renowned soccer player, complete with a fleshed out backstory. Play hide and seek. He'll randomly disappear and I'll find him hiding in my closet or in the bathtub waiting to jump out and scare me. Once he tried hiding under the bed and fell asleep. Found him only because of his snore. We merge and shorten words at random. We sit at the tubby for example while eating sausages, as opposed to burnt sausages. We know when the other is having a bad day as we stick our heads in the fridge and scream at the broccoli if so. We message each other throughout the day trying to be as formal as possible, rewording mundane questions into very important business proposals. We rate each other's fart sounds comparing them to movie sound effects. The Wilhelm scream is 10/10 but has never been achieved. We say each other's full names over and over again to the rhythm of old trains while chugging through the house. We speak French to our cat as much as possible as her previous house human was French and it seems to make her happy. We also pretend to be scary French monsters and chase her around the house. We often burst into song, replacing words to see what happens. Usually either about the cat or her brother-in-law, sometimes just drop in and out of song. Wiggle 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 wiggle. Yeah. My highlight was a variation of Slipknot's duality I push my fingers into my bum. This has highlighted to me that I am unlikely to find a replacement. We settle disputes with sockhead. We stand about 3 meters apart and take it in turns to throw a sock at each other in the hope of landing one squarely on the other one's head. I'm currently reigning champion. Yes I am. Fuck you Jade. He pretends to be the ghost of Carol Channing, telling me all about his thoughts, friendships, and past plays/movies with a spot-on mimic of her voice. Usually once I'm half asleep and it's completely dark. Sometimes I say to him, "Oh David." But it sounds more like, "M.O. David." And then he says, "M.O. David more problems." And then sings the hook to that one song. The more David we come across the more problems we see. And then one of us says, like diabetes. And sometimes it's reversed and he says it to me and I sing the song. And he always gets me with little, joking, insults and then I punch him. Softly, and no matter where I punch him he says, "Ah my kidneys." Also, anytime we hug or kiss in front of our youngest, too, she gets jealous and runs over and pushes us apart and then we have to pick her up and squeeze her in a hug sandwich. We did it with our older two when they went through jealousy at this age too. When we're chatting, or even talking, and we have to remark the importance or the hilarity of a phrase or a fact, we say that in English. We're both Italian. That's pretty weird. We get bark box for our dog, and a few months back the theme was Space Jam. So we ended up with this tiny stuffed LeBron that our dog couldn't care less about. So now we try to prank each other with LeBron. We have gotten multiple pics of each other sleeping with LeBron just chilling there. It's quite entertaining, if not bizarre. We have 2 dogs. The dogs talk to us but it's just me or my partner saying shit to the other person. E.g., the Chihuahua will look at my partner all cute like and I'll say in a diff voice, "Hey bitch my bowl's empty, you gonna go make me a sandwich?" She'll respond, "That's no way to talk to me you little shit." * Walks off to kitchen with dog bowl. Then the Chihuahua will respond, "Yeah that's it. Oh look at dat ass." Then I'll go, "Hey that's my wife you're talking about." Lockdown has been difficult. Me and my wife used to dance as we sang each other Disney's princess songs, no matter where we were. We'd also spend hours singing until our voice went dry. Even if there was work at the next day, it could be 4 a.m. and we'd still be thinking of another song to add to the mix. Not only Disney, of course. Her voice was that of an angel. Me and my GF do this thing where it'll be dead quiet and one of us pokes the other and says, "Got you there," for the other person has been got. No other rules except you can't get the other person till another day. Makes no sense, no. When the other person is not looking, we try to get in a karate chop. Combined with, "Hi yeah." I guess at some point one of us sang the words puppy diarrhea, probably while our puppy was going diarrhea, and it stuck. So now sometimes one of us will sing puppy diarrhea and the other one will repeat the song but in a higher pitch, and it keeps going until we're scream singing puppy diarrhea in opera voices. I also like to accuse him of shitting his pants after a fart and he'll forcefully deny it. That was definitely a shart, didn't shit my fucking pants. Go check your pants right now, we can stay in the bit until things are pretty heated. One time it occurred to me that our neighbors might hear these fights and they wouldn't know we were joking. I love the idea of that. Like to pretend to go in for a kiss and then just yell into his mouth instead. It's been years and I giggle like a schoolgirl every time. I text him pretending to be tech support for his wife but robot. I'm old so I'm a classic model, and there are often problems with annoying downloads, our children, causing malfunctions. I guess you had to be there. Y'all couples out there be mad cute. Sigh. We have entire conversations with our cat. Except one of us is being their self, and the other is acting out the cat's side of the conversation. We howl at the moon like wolves, but at totally random times across the house. And if one of us does it, the other is obligated to join in. Me and the missus play Vladimir Putin. You have to wait till the other's back is turned and then stick your finger in the other's butt and shout poot. Not like all the way in the butt, just in between the butt cheeks. Not sure how it started but one of us will look at our dog and give him a thumbs up. It must remain up until the other person sees this and does the same. When the dog looks confused enough we are allowed to continue with our lives. Atomic drops. Give or receive, is the standard impetus for an atomic drop. The person receiving lays prone on the bed. The person giving assumes a plank/push-up posture above the receivee then proceeds to throw their arms out from under themselves dropping full force onto the other. Our logic is that the drop forces love into the other more effectively than a standard hug/snuggle.